I do feel like students are very engaged in my classes. This semester in particular has been my favorite semester academically. I was a little worried going into the business school because there are stereotypes of being in business that the classes are not hard and everyone is just a frat boy who is getting a finance degree, and that has definitely not been my experience. Two of my professors, Baker and Laurie Salame, are absolutely fantastic. They will not let the class go on without participation. I have had my professor sit down cross-legged on the desk and just do the classic 5th grade I'll wait thing, waiting for us to participate. The classes are entirely based on how engaged we are, so I do feel like we participate a lot. Especially being in hotel tourism management, we luckily get to talk a lot about our own experiences because we've all worked in restaurants, hotels, done summer internships, so we get to talk a lot about our own experiences. And then Ember and I are in a political economy of women class with Lisa Saunders, and she has a rule: she stares at us for 10 seconds until we talk. And you feel very much like you're disappointing her if you don't have anything to say, and the class only has about 15 kids in it, so it's really hard to get by without participating. I do feel like my classes are very engaged.
Yeah, definitely. So for my engineering classes, a lot of it is project-based, so you end up being assigned to a project team, or for some classes you pick your own team. So that sort of requires an extra level of engagement because you have to be able to talk to people and share ideas and bounce ideas off each other to see what works for your design project and what won't work. So that's definitely helped with engagement, and those sort of big projects come a lot more later in your academic career, where you guys are now, transfer students, just because as you sort of build the base of knowledge, you start applying it to other things, and that becomes a lot more collaborative and a lot more engaging. In terms of being barefoot on campus, it gets kind of cold sometimes. And the only people I know, so a lot of my friends are part of the UMass Slackline Society. It's a lot easier to be on slackline barefoot, so they walk around barefoot sometimes. That's really it.
Nice.
I don't really have much to add, but again, as you work your way up the academic pyramid, you start with checking off some of the boxes for your general education course requirements. That a lot of you would probably check some of those boxes off with your transfer credits. Then moving on up to school and college requirements, and then major requirements. So I have found that as I have worked my way up the academic pyramid as an upperclassman now, that my classes are smaller in size and that they are very heavily based on your participation. So your grade is directly correlated to how much you are or are not participating.
So I'm a little biased when it comes to hands-on stuff. I have an agricultural degree. Kind of hard to get one without touching an animal. So we went over to Hadley Farm. That's where all of my classes were for 2 years. Got to handle goats, horses, a few cows, learned how to drive a tractor. So there's literally everything around here. And if you drive by Hadley Farm, take a look out the window. There's some babies out there. We're heavily involved in a reproduction program out there, so it's really hard not to be engaged and hands-on when you're around such a diverse population and program.